Welcome to another Dogecoin update. So Dogecoin is going to be getting a correction, which I pretty much predicted in my previous video. I mean, we kind of needed a correction, but as you can see, we got the 200% extension of the C wave right here, which means that the third wave is actually in. So I believe when we made the video, we were here and we did not actually manage to get to the 200% extension. But then just a couple of days later, we actually got to that extension, which is very bullish, and like I said, that confirms that the C wave is in and that the third wave of this 1-2 setup right here is also in. And now I'm looking for a fourth wave move down. Let me actually adjust this, and maybe we'll drop to, let's say, about the 50% extension, or maybe the 382 extension. We have to wait and see what happens, but we could also drop to the 0.618 extension, to be honest with you. Now let me change this to white, because, you know, there's a chance that we drop the 0.786 as well, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. But if you look at the daily, we actually went to the overbought territory, so maybe we need to cool off, and maybe we need to go to but a sense before we continue with the fifth wave move up. We'd have to wait and see what happens. I mean, the last time we got overbought on the daily was right here when we were at 20 cents. So you have to be careful right now. But of course, I mean, here we also went overbought. And as you can see, we still went up in about 10 cents from there. So yeah, it's hard to say what will happen with this. But I'm still expecting Dogecoin to get at least another high and get to maybe like 16 cents or so. But only after we get this fourth wave move down. And right now, I mean, if we go on the 4-hour chart, this fourth wave move down looks nowhere near complete. And in my opinion, like I said, we need to drop a bit and form an ABC structure before we continue going up. And if you look at what Bitcoin is doing right now, I mean, this would be the perfect time for Dogecoin to go down, because the Bitcoin chart also needs to go down right now. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently in this 1-2-3 setup, and it's currently working on a C wave. We only have the A-B structure of that C wave, and by the looks of it, Bitcoin formed 5 waves here, which means that we need a correction because, you know, this is a first wave move, this is a second wave move down, and then after this, we will most likely hit all-time highs in the third wave move up to complete the C wave. And in my opinion, Bitcoin will get like the 50% extension right here, maybe even the 0.618 extension in the second wave move down before it continues going up. So if Bitcoin will go down, then obviously Dogecoin will go down as well. And I don't think it's going to go down too much, in my opinion. I mean, you know, we'll only drop like another 1 or 2 or maybe even 3K, but probably not more than that. And, you know, after that, we still need a C wave. Now, the Dogecoin chart is pretty much copying the Bitcoin chart right now. So whatever happens to Bitcoin will also happen to Dogecoin. And, you know, if you look at the 4-hour RSI on the Bitcoin chart, we are almost oversold, which maybe means that we will get to the 0.382 extension and get oversold on the 4-hour, and then we will continue with the pump, because the last time we got oversold was right here when we were at about 58K. And then after that, we had a 10K pump. We went from about 58K to about almost 70K. And yeah, now we are almost oversold again, and Bitcoin barely went down. So this is a very good sign. And I think it's going to be very likely that Bitcoin hits a new all-time high this month before, you know, going down in November, because usually Bitcoin goes down in November. Well, it does not go down in November, but, well, not Bitcoin goes down in November. Bitcoin downers goes down in November each year. So maybe we'll get like 80K in October, and then in November we'll go down in the fourth wave move down right here. And that will give the altcoins time to actually form some kind of 5-wave move to the upside. And then in December, when we do go in the fifth wave, the altcoins will suffer a bit. And, you know, after that, we got an ABC structure. And after the ABC structure, we'll get the pump that everyone has been waiting for. And that's when the altcoin season will happen. Now, of course, that's only based on the fact that Bitcoin dominance still has not topped. And if we do somehow top in October, then we are not going to do what I said in the previous 30 seconds, because if we top in October, then we will need to get some kind of correction, and that will start the altcoin season. And like I said, I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to go down in November, because it always went down in November in the previous 7 years. So, there's no point arguing with the data. And what happens after November is still unclear. I mean, in the previous cycle, we went down in November and then we went up in December and then we topped on the Bitcoin dominance chart. But in 2016, which was also a halving year, as you can see, we went down in November and then we continued going down in December and January. And then we had the altcoin season. So I don't know what will happen. We'll have to wait and see. Now let's continue with the Dogecoin chart. Before I go in the 4-hour chart again, I actually want you to look at this chart and actually want to remind you what we're doing right now. So we are still in this 1-2 setup that we started after hitting the bear market low in June of 2022. And as you can see, the first wave move up right here. Actually, we'll be going daily for this. As you can see, the first wave move up has 5 waves. Well, the first wave here is a bit weird, but it can theoretically be called a first wave move. I mean, it has 3 waves to the upside. And, we formed this 1-2 setup right here with the not invalidated. And then we formed this 3-4-5 setup, which formed this first wave move. And right now we're in a correction. And as you can see, we held the major support zone. We managed to stay above it. We had a wick below it, but then we pumped after that. And things are looking good right now. I mean, Dogecoin is one of the only coins to actually get a pump right now. And of course, it's a meme coin after all. So you know what that means. Meme coins usually go up first and then the altcoins follow it. So yeah, I think that's a good reason why Dogecoin is going to be going up. And like I said, we still need to go down in this 4th wave move and we need to form an ABC structure. And then we will get the 5th wave move up, which needs to get above 15 cents. And we'll most likely get to like 17 cents or so. And then after the 5th wave move up, I mean, that will form a first wave move of the main 3rd wave move to the upside right here that everyone has been waiting for. And of course, after the first wave move to the upside, which of course would even top at like 20 cents or so, after we form these 5 waves and we form this first wave move, we will need a correction which needs to have an ABC structure. And I don't know how deep this correction will be, but it could be kind of deep. I mean, it could go from about 20 cents or so to about 15 cents, and then we continue with the 3rd wave. But, even so, I mean, Dogecoin is still looking fine right now. I mean, it's holding support levels. It's going to the 200% extensions. As you can see, it even went to the 2.272 extension in this A wave, in the 3rd wave of this 1-2 setup. So things are looking very, very good right now. Let me actually get rid of this and of this as well. And yeah, I mean, we just had a cross, as you can see. And usually after we get a cross, we also get some kind of bounce. And I mean, that's happening right now. We also got above the bull market support band and we are staying above it, which is very, very bullish in my opinion, because right now, not many altcoins are actually above it. So, if we want to stay bullish, we kind of have to stay above the bull market support band, which means that we are not really allowed to drop below the 0.618 support level. Oh, and I was talking about this cross right here. As you can see, the green line just went above the red line. And usually when that happens, as you can see, for example, right here, after that happened, we had this huge pump and we went from about 8 cents to about 22 cents. And there's another example right about here. As you can see here, we had a cross. We did nothing for a few months. And then all of a sudden we had a pump and we went from about 5 cents or so all the way to 11 cents. So this is usually a good sign, and maybe it means that the low is already in when the 2nd wave moved down. But then again, I cannot confirm that because we still do not have 5 waves up. We only have 3 waves up. And no, I don't think you can count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. The 5th wave is way too overextended in my opinion. And just to remind you of my price prediction for this cycle, I still think that Dogecoin will get to about $1 to maybe even $2 in this cycle. I think that's realistic. And in Dogecoin, at the end of the day, it's holding support levels, which is very good. And you have to keep in mind that in the previous cycle, it went up about 52,000%. Which is quite a lot. So of course it's going to go up in this cycle as well. I mean, if you check out what happened in the cycle before that, we also went up like what? Let's see, 21,000%. So yeah, Dogecoin tends to do these things. And the best thing about this is the fact that Dogecoin actually respect support zones. And, this is not what a meme coin, I would say. I would say that this is just an altcoin because, it has been around for about 10 years now, and usually meme coins do not survive this long. So Dogecoin is looking very good in my opinion, and it has potential to go up another 10x from where it's at right now in the next bull market. And I would say, the 200% extension right here, in my opinion, is the bare minimum that we need, because you could say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, and if it is, then in my opinion, we should get to the 200% extension right there in the fifth wave to finish the cycle, and that is at about $1.43. So yeah, there's still a lot of potential, and we are not invalidated the 1-2 setup. To invalidate the 1-2 setup, we will have to go below the bear market low right here, and I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon unless we get some kind of black swan event. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you really enjoyed this video, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.